Hey everyone, it's Try with Rye here. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be making Filipino empanadas. This happens to be one of my favorite Filipino pastries, so hopefully you guys enjoy this recipe. The empanada fillings that we will be creating today is ground beef. So let's get started with the empanada dough. So first things first, you need 3 1/4 cups of flour. I decided to use whole wheat, half a teaspoon of salt. You need 1 egg, two-third cups of milk. I decided to use skim milk. You could use whatever milk you'd like. And you need half a cup of butter, and do not melt the butter. I also decided to use margarine butter, but you can use whatever butter you'd like. To get started, what you need to do is you need to add half a teaspoon of salt onto the flour. Then you need to get your food processor, and you want to just open this up. And what you want to do is you want to grab the flour and salt bowl and put it onto the food processor. Once that's done, just blend it up for about a minute. Now what you want to do is you want to grab your milk, but you want to pour in the milk 1/4 at a time. Then you want to grab your half cup of butter and only pour in half of it. You want to slowly blend those up for a minute or so, just until everything is all nice and mixed together. Then what you want to do is you want to repeat the same process again. So you want to pour in the milk until all of it is done. And then you want to grab 1 egg. You want to pour all those in and then quickly close the food processor and blend it up again. Once you see that the dough is thickening up and you see that there's still flour on top that aren't really mixed yet, what you want to do is you just want to grab a spatula and mix them all up so all of that can get processed. You then want to grab the rest of your butter and pour it in. And that's basically it. So just quickly blend that all up for around a minute or so. Once you see the dough all thickened up, what I normally like to do is I normally like to touch the dough and see if they're all mixed together. Using my hands, I then just grab the ingredients together to see if everything is all mixed up. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just checking if all the ingredients are fully mixed equally, and I check if the dough is hard enough, is it soft. I'm just checking those things right now. And then once that's all done and you think that, the dough is nice and soft and everything, I grab a separate bowl and I put all the ingredients together. Creating the dough does get a little messy and it is kind of time consuming, but I promise you it's worth it. So now that I got my dough in that bowl, what you want to do is you just want to roll it up, knead it for around 5 to 10 minutes. So if you do find the dough a little hard to knead, if you want, you could add on more butter or you could add on some oil just to make it easier for you. For this recipe, I decided to only use half a cup of butter. Normally, the regular recipe is actually 1 cup of butter, but I decided to cut down the butter just to make it healthier, and I also used whole wheat flour. But again, that's up to you. I'm more of that healthy lifestyle type of person. So anyways, now that you got your dough, what you want to do is you just want to roll it up into a nice little ball. I also like to slap the dough here and there just to, get that nice perfect circle shape. So once that's done, what you want to do is you just want to grab a little bit of olive oil and pour that onto the bowl and just spread it all out. This really helps the dough from not sticking onto the bowl itself. Now you want to place the dough onto the bowl. Now what you want to do is you want to grab saran wrap and just slowly wrap that onto the bowl. Make sure that there's no air coming out. And you want to place this dough into the fridge for 30 minutes. I know 30 minutes may be a long time, but during the 30-minute period, what you want to do is you want to create the empanada filling. Using a non-stick pan, you want to put that on medium heat, and you want to grab 1 onion that's already diced up. You just want to mix that all in there, and sorry guys, I forgot to tell you, but I also added 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Now you want to add 2 red bell peppers that are already diced up. You then want to add 2 carrots that are already diced up as well, and just slowly mix that all together. So now that's all mixed, what you want to do is you want to grab a teaspoon of salt and pepper and just slowly pour that all in. Then you want to grab 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Now let's mix that all in. You then want to add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and this is what makes the filling nice and sweet. Then you want to grab 1/2 pound of ground beef. So what you want to do is you want to slowly pour all of those in. And last but not least, you want to grab around 1 cup of tomato sauce. You can use whatever tomato sauce you'd like. And you just slowly want to mix all those ingredients together. What you really want to do is you really want to cook that ground beef because you do not want to have raw ground beef into your filling. Alright, so 30 minutes is finally up and we can finally grab our dough from the fridge. So here's how our dough looks like, and what you want to do is you just want to slowly knead that again. You can just knead it for around 2 to 5 minutes or so, just as long as the dough is a little soft. So now that's all done, what I want to do is I just want to cut the dough in half, and I'm just going to create a ball out of each of them. Now the reason why I split the dough into 2 halves is because I just personally find it easier for me to work with, one small dough instead of working with one big dough. But that's basically up to you. If you like working with one big dough itself, then you don't have to do this process. I just found that having 2 separate doughs is much easier than working with one big dough. But anyways, moving on, what you want to do is you want to grab 2 pieces of parchment paper because I normally do not like having a dirty countertop, but again, that's up to you. This is just a little trick on not having your countertop dirty. So anyways, I'm just going to grab my dough and I'm just going to flatten it up a little bit. You then want to grab the other parchment paper and lay it on top of the dough. Then you want to grab a roller. So you just want to slowly roll the dough nice and flat like so. Let's get rolling. This does sort of take a lot of time. But now that's done, what you want to do is you want to peel off the parchment paper. You want to grab your filling from before, and then you want to grab just a circle container or whatever container you guys can find. This just helps you create that nice circle just to make it easier for yourself. If you do find it hard to peel off the dough, what you want to do is you want to grab your container again and just slowly push it down. Basically, it just means that you didn't push the dough hard enough. Alright, so once that's done, what you want to do is you want to grab your circle little doughs and just place it on a parchment paper. And then what you want to do is you want to grab your filling and just fill up the dough. I normally like to grab at least 1 to 2 tablespoons of the filling, but you can grab as much filling as you would like, just as long as you're able to close the empanadas properly. So now that's done, what you want to do is you want to fold the dough in half like this. And then what you want to do is you want to grab a fork. So using a fork, this will really help you seal the empanadas. So what I like to do is I just like to press down on the fork on the edges like so. And that is basically how you seal the dough. Alright, so that's one empanada complete. Now time to do the rest. This really does take a lot of time, so you just have to be patient. Now what you want to do is you just want to repeat the same process over and over again until all your dough is complete. So you grab the filling, you fold the dough in half, and then you grab your fork just to seal it all together. Alright, so that's the other one done. And you just gotta repeat the same steps over and over again. So I basically completed that half dough that we created, and using parchment paper in a tray, I just placed them all over here. Okay, so time to grab your other dough. So what you want to do is again, put parchment paper on it and roll it up like so. And then again, grab your container, make circles out of it. And the little trick that I like to do is I like to make circles out of it, create the dough, flatten it up again, and then just create more circles just to speed up the process. Okay, so once that's all done, all my empanadas are placed on a tray, and you just want to grab an egg. You want to slowly whisk that all together. And you also want to grab 1 tablespoon of water and whisk the water and the egg together. This really creates an egg wash. Now what you want to do is you want to grab a brush and just place the egg wash onto the empanadas. Now having an egg wash really creates that nice shiny look on the empanada, but if you don't like having a nice shiny look, then you can just skip this step. Alright, finally that's all done. Now what you want to do is you want to place this in the oven for 400 Fahrenheit for 10 minutes or until it's nice and golden brown. And that is basically it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this amazing empanada recipe, and for more information visit trywithry.ca. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Facebook and Instagram.